Comedian Kamau Bell was mistaken for a panhandler when he was in Berkeley, California with his white wife, probably because he was speaking to his white wife. Now, this all happened at Elmwood Cafe, which is now being boycotted. Apparently, he was having a lovely breakfast with his wife and her friends, and then in the middle of breakfast, he decided to get up and go to a bookstore, and he bought a book. Now, when he came back and was talking to them, and they're all seated outside, he noticed that a waitress from the cafe was knocking on the window. He was like, what the hell's going on? So he kind of recounts this whole situation in his blog. Let me give it to you in his own words. He says, seconds later, there's a loud series of knocks on the window of the Elmwood Cafe. They are coming from the inside of the restaurant. I look up and see one of your employees staring daggers at me. The employee then jerks her head to her left aggressively, and I see her mouth say something to the effect of, scram. Okay. Damn. Later on, the waitress had told him, oh, sorry, we thought you were selling something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now, look, this goes perfectly to the point we always make. This is in Berkeley, California. So first of all, this restaurant is in a load of trouble.
Yeah, it's it's like one of the most liberal places you could possibly be.
Oh, the boycott gonna be bad. It's gonna be deep. It's gonna be bad.
They're gonna host a public chat to address this.
Of course they are. They're in Berkeley. They're gonna pass out granola to everybody. Everything's gonna be fine. But okay, now, but it goes perfectly to our point, because we're not saying that everybody's racist and that waitress hates black people and stuff like that. No, it's the subtle assumptions and stereotypes that linger in the back of your head. So when she sees a black guy come up with a book, she doesn't think professor, right? Yeah. She doesn't think husband of the white lady sitting there, right? She thinks, oh, it's a panhandler, right? And so she goes, scram, beat it. It's that, right? Like he said he felt like he was an animal being shooed away.
Right.
Right? And so that's super hard. Now, when you put yourself in his situation, I hope that you can muster up some sort of sympathy and empathy and go, wait a minute, that would suck if that was the assumptions people made about me all of the time. Right? And wouldn't it be lovely if we tried to work together to get past those assumptions?
Exactly. And again, I don't think that people are inherently or even overtly racist in any way. I think that there are stereotypes that are perpetuated in the mainstream media, in mass media, and whether we like it or not, you start believing those things. It kind of seeps into your core beliefs and your identity without you even realizing it. I think a lot of this stuff happens subconsciously, right? And so when we have issues about white privilege is having the ability to live your life without people making assumptions about you being a panhandler when you're talking to other white people. You know, that's what white privilege is. It's not that you as a white person have done something wrong, it means that you get the benefit of the doubt. And in this case, he didn't get the benefit of the doubt.
So let me build off that. And of course, there are also overt racists.
Yes.
There's just less of those than there are people who make assumptions about stereotypes. To that point, it's not like there aren't white panhandlers and white homeless people. But since the majority of the country is white, you also have a white uncle, a white aunt, and everybody around you growing up is white if you grew up white. So when you see a white person, you don't think, oh, that's obviously a panhandler. You think, well, there's a range of white people, and he's somewhere in that range, right? Now, if you're come across, you don't know that many black people, and of course there are panhandlers in that area, as there are in many areas. Mm-hmm. And if a lot of them that you saw happen to be African American, or they were split African American and white, but you don't know other blacks, you don't know the black professor, you don't know the black husband, then you think in the back of your head, oh, immediately. She didn't sit there to think about it. It was an instant reaction she had, panhandler, right? So the answer isn't, singling her out as the problem. And look, I'm glad they're having a conversation about it, because we're having a conversation about it, and this is how we get beyond it. The problem is more deep-seated, and one that we all need to address. And the first step in that is recognizing it. And that's the problem we have oftentimes, because when we say it, then people say, oh, you're race baiting. Oh, my God, stop talking. No, you got to start talking. That's how you begin to fix it.
I think people just get uncomfortable because they feel like they're being blamed for something. But this isn't about blame. It's just about recognizing certain things that we believe subconsciously and how we can get past it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You know?